In this chapter, we'll be talking about linear transformations for discrete random variables. Now, what's a linear transformation? Well, that's the addition and or multiplication of a variable by a constant. Now, when I talk about addition, I also mean subtraction, because subtraction is just the opposite operation of addition. Likewise, for division, division is the opposite operation of multiplication. So again, when we take a random variable, we either multiply it by a constant or we add a constant to it. We're basically doing a linear transformation. So again, we have a random variable, let's call it x, and we can either multiply it by a constant, let's call the constant a, or we take x again and we add a constant to it, let's call the constant b, or we can do both at the same time, right? We can have ax plus b. That means that we first multiply x by a constant and then add a different constant to it. Basically, what we're doing in all of these things, we're creating a linear transformation of x. Now, having done that, we don't have x anymore. We have a linear transformation of x, right? So let's call this transformation y, okay? And y would be ax plus b. Now, some of you may have seen this, that y equals bx plus a. Now, basically these two things, these two expressions are the same. All we did is change the names of the multipliers and the addition constants. But basically, this guy and this guy are totally the same. And because they're the same, let's just use this. I'll be using this expression to express the linear transformation of x. Okay, so having done that, right, if y equals ax plus b, then what I want to do is I want to calculate the expectation of x and the variance of the expectation of y and the variance of y, right? Just like we did in previous chapters with x, where we calculated the expectation of x and the variance of x. Now that we've transformed x into something else, we'll call that something else y, we want to know what the expectation of the new variable is, right? And the variance of the new variable, we want to know what they are. Okay, so here are the rules. Okay, the rules are such that the expectation of y equals a times the expectation of x plus b. Okay, so this a right here is the same as this guy right here. And b, that's the same as this guy right here. So the expectation of y is a times the expectation of x plus b. That's this guy right here. And if we're looking at the variance of y, well, it's a squared times the variance of x. Okay, it's the same a right here. Now, once we've calculated the variance, then the standard deviation is easy. That's just the square root of the variance of x, right? The variance of y, which is equal to the absolute value of a times the standard deviation of x.